getting me in a football team was #1 priority, I think, and it was, you know, overtook probably getting a house. So we probably had a football club before we had a roof over our head. But no, when we moved over, I mean, my uncle, he moved to Perth in the late 80s, I think it was, and he'd already settled, and we kind of moved and located in Woodlands where he was, and we didn't really have an idea of the football clubs that were in and around Perth, but he knew of Subiaco, you know, the junior club down there, and said, you know, it's a good area, and you know, a lot of kids play down there, so that was the first step I made into football in WA, and you know, signed up for Subiaco and spent 6 months there, and I think I played up front actually from memory, and scored a few goals. I remember scoring one off a corner down at Rosalie. Yeah, and I think at 11 as well, that was the age when you first played 11v11, so the keeper was probably about 4 foot tall, and you know, Poppadom wrists. So it was easy to score a corner. So I spent 6 months at, because we moved in June, I believe it was, and so I did half a season at Subiaco, and then the following year, my dad saw they were doing trials up at ECU. And we didn't really know too much about it. I remember I went down to Stirling as well and had trials down there, and I didn't take any particular liking to that, so I thought, you know, I'll give somewhere else a go. And Dad, like I said, had seen an article in the newspaper about trials up there, and it was a British club at the time. I know, like a lot of the clubs in Perth, you know, they've all the different ethnicities and that, so that was you know, somewhere where he wanted to take me. And I remember there was like 50 kids, and they had a good reputation as well. Like, the more we learned that, you know, they took lads over to England, and obviously that wasn't on my mind at the time, but you know, it seemed like a well-run club, a good junior club with links with, you know, top clubs in England, so it was you know, worth giving it a shot. Willie Hurd, and he was the one who really gave me that push. And I remember there was one night, and Willie, I think, had wanted me to go in goal because I was, again, bigger than most of the other kids in the team, and I remember crying my eyes out and I want to go in goal, and that was it. I want to play out, I want to be a defender, and got mum involved. I know I hate to admit it, but you know, didn't stand up for myself because Willie was a bit intimidating, Scottish, and he's got these piercing eyes if you've ever met the bloke, and for an 11-year-old it can be, you know, quite frightful. So he used a few choice words around that time as well. So, you know, he wanted to put me in goal. I wasn't interested, so I ended up having a word with mum, and you know, she put him in his place. So that was it. I didn't end up being a goalkeeper, but yeah, Willie was he was the first coach really who he gave me that drive to be a pro. I think his son, Chris Hurd, who, you know, had a great career in England, and you know, has had, you know, a real good career elsewhere in the world. He was an example of that, and Willie had also coached the likes of Shane Lowry, Rhys Williams, Ryan Williams, you know, Rostin, and you know, other players like that. So he was just a real good coach with kids. He knew how to get the best out of us all, and you know, there was other coaches down there as well at ECU, but he was the one who kind of guided me all the way through. And then it was when I was 15, and then there was talks of me maybe going back over to the UK, and I know Willie at the time had a lot of links with Villa, and tried to push for me to go there, but obviously Portsmouth came in and they offered me a good deal, so that was where it took me. Oh yeah, I did, and that was the thing, you never heard of hamstring at that age, do you know what I mean? So it was one of those, you just got to school, get home, and then get me to training, don't worry about homework kind of thing. So yeah, you know, I had NTC and the state team that soon followed after I'd been at ECU a couple of years. So I was with Gareth Naven in the state team and Andy Ord as well, and then we had NTC with Kenny as well. So it was really good as well, having them kind of overseeing that pathway as well and helping me with my, you know, junior career. And you know, I learnt a lot from Kenny as well. And it's always one of those that when you're that old and you know, you're doing all right at a junior level, do you stay in Australia and go the domestic route? through the A-League, that was always an option, and the pathway through NTC was always good. Then there's, you know, going over to college teams in America, and that was another option that I had there, and then obviously the latter one that I took was going to England. So like looking back at it, I don't have any regrets, but I think it's really important as a junior nowadays to really, you know, work out what's best for you. You know, because when you go over to Europe, you know, you're a small fish in a very big pond, and it's very hard, and you soon find out that, you know, there are a lot of players over there who are very gifted and talented, and it's tough to get that spot in a first team. So, you know, like I said, I don't have any regrets going. I had a great time whilst I was there, but you know, the options were there to maybe go through the A-League, and that was always progressing, but you know, it wasn't to be. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember always playing up, so I was with the Williams brothers. Ryan I went over to England with. Tags was always in and around there at ECU, and yeah, I got some great memories down there. Mitch Oxborough, another lad who I still catch up with now whenever he's back in Perth. So yeah, fond memories from when I was a kid and getting up to mischief. And
I was just going to say.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Jeez, I remember one time we set off a fire extinguisher in the gym hall whilst the next age group was going on, and we were playing football, and an extinguisher got let go, so we all got in trouble for that, and yeah, pretty much just running amok after games, and that was it. And you just did, didn't you? You just got on with it, and there was no such thing as an injury, and it was great fun. And I do miss it, you know. You miss being a kid. You take it for granted really when you become an adult, and you know, school life and training, and you know, not having a care in the world pretty much. The way I've always looked at it and gone about it is, if I can make a living from it at whatever level, or make money from football, it's a bonus, you know. Like, I love playing it. It's the game I've been brought up playing. I've loved since I can remember. And you know, when I look at my life as a whole, the main focus it's kind of revolved around is football, and you know, family and friends, and well, my health will always be number one, but football will never leave me. It'll always be there by my side. I know that, whether I'm playing or not, or just watching from the stands. Like, I've got so much love for it. You know, I'm blessed that I've been given the opportunity to do it for a living, and that's what I can, you know, say to any youngster really. I mean, just to play it is, you know, such an honour, and like such a good thing to have, and then anything else is a bonus.